Mr. Hudson, how are you?
Oh, well, just say Ernie, I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing great today. First and
Good.
foremost, congratulations on Boston Blue. So, for those who don't know, Boston Blue is the spinoff from Blue Bloods, which you've had the privilege of playing in Blue Bloods, but now you're in Boston Blue playing a different character in a different role. So, how does it feel to be part of the universe in a different and bigger role?
Yeah, no, it's great to be a part. Brandon Saunier and Brandon Margolis, the two showrunners, were also the producers and showrunners for a show I did called LA's Finest with Gabrielle Union and Jessica Alba. We did 2 seasons of that, and so I knew them and I worked with them. And when they sort of were coming up with this, they I guess had me in mind. Donnie Wahlberg I'd worked on Blue Bloods, but we'd also done a couple movies together, so I've known him for some time. And so they asked me to be a part of play the Reverend, and I was saying, you know what, I just don't want to be, the old guy sitting at the table with a couple of words to say each episode. And they said, no, we got these ideas we're going to do. And so this episode coming up uh, was them sort of following through on some of the ideas they had for the Reverend. And I was very, very thankful because it gave me a chance to, um, yeah, to be able to round the character out in a really humanistic way.
Yeah, I love the Reverend. I love the Reverend so much because the episode that I watched, I was like, wait, hold up now. I said, hold up, y'all. What's going on? But I love the Reverend. He's one of my favorite characters because I do see the Reverend as a voice of reason and the patriarch of the whole family, kind of. But how would you describe your character and what kind of drew you to the Reverend? Like I know you are familiar with the showrunners and Donnie, but what drew you to the character?
Yeah, I grew up in a church, Kojic, Church of God in Christ, and I was until I was out of high school, I was really active in the church. My grandmother raised me and wanted me to be a minister, and after I got older, I told her that's not going to happen. Um, but this character is the kind of minister that I think she would have um, wanted me to be, and if that makes any sense. And so I wanted to represent that, but I have a cousin who's a minister, and he has a thing called the Brotherhood, something or other, and they're very active in the community. And one of the things I've noticed in a lot of the police procedures, it's kept catching the bad guy and prosecuting him, but then it never rarely shows the real impact it has on the community and the people in the community. And the Reverend, to me, sort of stands as a guard or as a voice for people who are impacted by this that we don't get to see. And so to get a chance to sort of play that and represent that, and also the family, I mean, he is a guy who comes from a tradition of Baptist ministers, and now my family is Jewish. It's like, how do I reconcile that? And yet, I had a hard time dealing with my daughter, but she married a guy, and now my grandkids. And but my family is more important. And I think I have a line of saying, I don't care how you pray as long as you pray.
Mm.
But he's had to sort of grow up and make peace with a lot of things. But it's the humanness, the humanity, uh, and the struggle, that made me want to play this character.
Yeah, it's such a great character. I look forward to seeing you on the show, and I love police shows, but it's something about your character, the church, the community, and then the episode that I just watched. I mean, there were a lot of things going on, but I'm happy we got to see more of the church, more of the community,
Thank
and Reverend kind of like, standing his own a little bit.
you.
So I did appreciate that a lot about this episode.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, this was really cool to see you in action, I can say.
Uh, thank you. Thank you.
Yes. Speaking of the family, I really do enjoy an ensemble cast, and I love seeing you all together, especially the dinner scenes and just seeing you guys come together. What is it like
Right.
working with the cast and working on set with everybody?
It's a great cast. I mean, well, I've been working as an actor for over 60 years, and I started out being the kid, and now I'm the old guy. I'm like, oh, I guess I am. And so they kind of remind me from time to time. But working with Mika and and I'm saying Jonah on the younger people is so much fun. The whole group, Donnie Wahlberg and Shaniqua, is just incredible. Um, to be, yeah, it's a great show to watch from a different perspective now because now I'm seeing it from, that grandfather's
Yeah.
overview and loving them and wanting to kind of support them and protect them and be there in a way. It's great. And yeah, so I'm sure that probably comes out in the show because that's how I feel. They're amazing, you know.
Yeah, you can tell the chemistry with you all is it's great. I'm like, I would love to be on set with them at that dinner
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, no, and the dinner table was a lot of fun because we all get together and it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
It's family.
Yeah. I also love that the show was renewed for season 2, so congratulations.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's that's fine. I'm really impressed and surprised that not surprised, but I'm really thankful that the fans have embraced the show right off the bat. And I've been traveling, I've been on the road a bit for the past few weeks, and going through airports, and people come up and love the show. I do another show on BET and BET Plus called The Family Business,
My
and there's
mother's
a
favorite
whole other
show.
set of fans, but between being the gangster and the minister, but I'm so happy that Boston Blue is people are finding it and enjoying it.
That's why I love this because when I see you in family business, I'm like, man, Ernie can act because he's never played a role where I'm like, I don't like that guy. But I love you in
Yeah,
family business as well. But I love seeing, I mean, because you've been in this business for over 60 years. So I love seeing the
yeah.
different roles that you have played. And
Thank
being
you.
in the industry for over 60 years, when you're on set or coming to set or taking on a project, what is it that like keeps that spark for you?
Yeah, I think I love, first I love the storytelling, what's going on in the story, what's going on in this universe that we're creating and this world that these people live in, and seeing the other actors, how they kind of approach their work and getting a chance it's just the whole process is still fascinating to me. And I think still trying to kind of get it right, it's never been boring. A lot of friends I started out with got into directing and producing and doing other things, but acting has always been that, just it's just fascinating to see to do. And I
Yeah.
love the fact that nothing lasts forever. So you're on a show, but when this is over, it's a different cast, it's a different location, it's a different story, and I think if I had to work a job over and over, I wouldn't be very good at it. But yeah, so I still find, and maybe there'll come a time when I'll go, you know what, I'm tired, I don't want to do it anymore. But as long as I'm capable to show up and um, you know have fun, and I'll still
Yeah.
be doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we do see you for season 2. Where would you like to see the Reverend story go? What aspects would you like to see kind of examined for Reverend story?
Yeah, obviously the family's complicated, and we've shown in this episode there's secrets and secrets on
Mhm.
secrets, like all families have, and they kind of break up and all come together and all that. But it's great to see that on screen. But again, like I said, the thing that I really want to see the Reverend protective of his community, of the people that he served, and these are a lot of the people who are, you know, being confronted with law enforcement, sometimes unfairly, and I'd like to see that side of that police procedural thing. We see what the cops got to run the guy down, but then what happens to that guy's family who shows up in
Mhm.
church broken, and and we have to deal with that. So, and I haven't seen that on a lot of police procedures, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll see a little bit more of that as well. And
Yeah.
when they go about doing their job, that they take in the consideration of those consequences that I
Yeah.
have to see, in church. But as policemen, they don't necessarily have to see what goes wrong with those families and how they survive now. There's no dad in the house and
Yeah.
all that. So
Yeah, I think that's why Boston Blue is such a hit because it's very different from a lot of cop shows because you do get to
right,
see the family side, you get to see the aftermath. Because once
yeah,
the police are done doing their jobs and the detectives, what happens, you know? So
right,
that's why
yeah,
I love
yeah,
seeing the church aspect of it, and even Reverend coming to his family who happen to all work in law
right,
enforcement, and who's like, "Hey,
yeah.
I have this family we might need to talk to." So that's why I think Boston Blue is a hit because it's completely different.
Yeah, I think so. It's yeah, and I'm amazed because people haven't, thought, oh well, how come? And but no, they, we're all different faiths, and but people relate to it, So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Now, if you played in almost every genre, comedy, animation, horror, is there any genre that you feel most at home with, or do you love them all?
I just love them all. I love working. With the animated stuff is great to just work with the voice. Theater to be able to perform in front of an audience, and that's a great experience. Television, it's a little bit different than film, which is, whether it's a comedy or a drama or, it all stretches you in different, it's like different worlds, different universes that you get to go and explore. So yeah, I just love working, finding the roles that demand
Hmm.
that you show up. That's the hard part. Because a lot of times now, especially at my age, people go, "Yeah, Ernie, I've seen you for a long time, and I want you to be in this, and I only need you for a scene." I'm like, I want to be challenged. I want
Yeah.
to bring all of me to a role, and sometimes it's like, yeah, well, we don't want all of it. We just want you to do this thing and then get out of the way. So, uh, but looking for that role is been my kind of lifetime pursuit to find something that you walk away from going, okay, that's what I do. So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I would love to give you your flowers and just say it's an honor just to speak with you. You are a legend, the busiest man I think in Hollywood right now.
thank you so much. It means so
Yeah.
much. Honestly, it means just I appreciate you. It means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yes, yes. Congratulations on Boston Blue and all your endeavors and all your future projects. And thank you so much.
Thank you, and give my best to your mom.
Will do, will do.
All right.
Jasmine, thank you.